This afternoon we're speaking about Concour Elegance, whose 48th edition is happening next weekend on 30th Sunday at Ngong Racecourse. A lot of drivers have already shown their interest to take part in the most iconic event, where several of them, of course, will be coming to showcase their iconic cars and motorcycles. And we're going to speak to one of the drivers who already indicated that he will be taking part with this Mercedes-Benz of 1985. But he tells me that nowadays a lot of factors come into consideration as to who ultimately emerges the winner, and that man is called Daniel Biwott. Daniel Biwott, good afternoon and good to speak to you. How are you feeling, by the way?
I'm feeling well, and good afternoon. Thank you.
You're feeling all right. Good to have you on board. I can see your car is in good shape. What are the expectations heading into next weekend's championship?
Let me tell you the truth. The championship is normally tough. We have cars from as early as 1935 and earlier sometimes, and to modern cars. So it's varied. The good thing is that we have it in terms of classes, so that you find that I might be competing in classes that I can comfortably win.
But before, of course, you proceed, let's just get outside so that we can get the feel and glimpse of the shape of this particular car. It's a Mercedes-Benz of 1985. It looks very iconic in terms of shape, in terms of look, and of course Daniel Biwott, whose owner is confirming to me that it's all systems go as far as the participation in the next weekend's championship is concerned. You're telling me that 80% is done to take part?
80% is done. I have about 20% remaining, which I should cover it in the next 1 week or so. It's a full-time job, I'll not lie to you. Cleaning, making sure everything works, systems go, such that by the time we get to the racecourse on Sunday, it's all 100% done.
I'm reliably informed you've used this machine of yours, to participate in other championship like Uganda Concour Elegance 4 times before. Yeah. Maybe should that be a build up positively as far as the next championship is concerned on Sunday?
For the Uganda event, not necessarily. That's still a very young event. Our event is the mother of all. This should be the 49th or the 50th, I think. And the parameters to winning this event is not a joke. I mean, every sphere of the car is analyzed as compared to the Uganda event, which is still growing. So you can't really judge it as compared to that event, but this is the event. This is the main event. If you get through this, you are good to go.
Various determining factors that come into play as far as which car emerges the win, and probably which driver carries the day as far as the overall championship is concerned. Besides the age when the car was developed, what other factors come into play? Body, and maybe what else?
The Nairobi event has different stages. We start with the underside, where we go up the ramp, and then of course they judge your underside. Then you go for the external body, then you go for the interior body, then you go for the engine, and then you finish off with the safety. Safety, these will be the lights, your horn, whether it works or not, your indicators, your wipers, and all these things. So we have all those stages to go through. So you might find that you have a very good body, but your underside is rotten. Or you might find you have a very good interior, but your exterior is, is not in good shape. So all these things matter the most.
I know there might be a person outside there who is interested to take part. How, in terms of modification of the car that are eligible, to participate, how is it done?
For the Nairobi event, the cut-off mark should be 12 years or 15 years older. So ideally, for anybody looking to enjoy this particular event,
meaning the most recent car that can participate is the one that was made in
about
2005,
2006 at most. But you see, that's more or less a modern car. Of course, you can bring it in, but for the elegance and the real competition, I would advise somebody look for 1990 and below. Anything in the 80s, anything in the 70s, and anything in the 60s. You will tend to, we look for unique cars. I would personally be looking for a car that is not common in the roads. A rare car, it stands out. When you bring in, I mean, I can bring in a C-Class or an E-Class manufactured in 2005. It's common on the roads. It wouldn't really give out that essence of classic Concours, vintage, and all that stuff. So personally, I would go for an older car.
Of course, besides participation, people will be coming out in large numbers. A lot of interest. It's picking up, and it has attracted significant growth in the country. Remember, Concour Elegance 48th edition taking place next weekend at Concour on Sunday, and a lot of drivers confirmed participation. It's an event that is open to all makes of cars and vehicles and on the motorsport calendar, Kenya Motorsport Federation calendar. And speaking about Kenya Motorsport Federation calendar, several years down the line, in 2002, the last World Rally Championship took place in the country. Organizers led by Phineas Kimathi, who is the president, have been trying to lay in place structures, mechanisms to ensure that maybe it can come back to the country after a lot of time of waiting. Do you think we're ready?
100% I wouldn't tell. I'm not yet into the rallying calendar per se, but we need to get back into the WRC. That's when Safari was Safari. What we have today, I don't think can compare to what we had when we were growing up.
What do you make of the growth of Concour in Kenya? What do you make of its growth? Is it
It is. I'll tell you, about 10 years ago, I probably did not know that Concours Elegance existed. And if it did, I probably thought it belonged to a certain class of people, probably the whites, the rich people. But once I got into it, I discovered that anybody can actually participate in this event. It's not meant for a particular class of people. The spirit and the will. It's not cheap. I mean, first you have to own the classic itself. You have to put time, money, and sweat into the whole event. Once you get into it, you discover that anybody can do it.
You are on a national television, and of course, I know you have a lot of enthusiasts outside there. What will you promise them in terms of the performance? What should they expect from you?
Personally, I'll speak for myself. I'll tell them that having bought a classic, a dead car practically, and restored it to what it is today, and having competed in Uganda 4 times, and this will be my 5th event in Nairobi, I'll tell them that it's possible you can do it. I'll be there. This year I'm actually doing 2 cars, same a diesel and a petrol combined. For us, the sky is the limit.
The sky is the limit, this one?
Yes, and of course the other one.
But not you being skeptical in terms of saying the specific expectations in terms of your own performance. But should we look forward to a blistering show from you?
I'm not coming in as a rookie now. The past years, I would say that I know what to expect. I know what to work on. I know what the gadgets for, and I think I'm prepared.
I think you're prepared. Finally, maybe your parting shot in terms of the decency of your car, going by what you are seeing right now. Behind, making your car look in this particular shape, despite, it came into play in terms of its establishment.
They say that cleanliness is next to godliness. If you value your classic car, trust me, you will take care of it. Myself and a few other owners of classic Mercedes-Benz, we believe that we suffer from a problem called OCD. We always want our classics to be clean because then they stand out from the clutter. I don't need to tell you what the clutter is. They automatically stand out. And you have to... For you to maintain the value of your vehicle, you have to make sure it runs well at all times, it's clean at all times, Whether you're using it or not, have it covered. If not, make sure it's clean at all times.
Several guys who've passed by here have been telling me to ask you a question probably you will be scared of responding to. But if you don't mind, what would be the cost of maintaining this car so that you can look in this particular shape? And probably the cost of its acquisition as well.
That normally, my perfect answer is always that I'll take the 5th Amendment and I will not answer that. Thank you.
Daniel Biwott is saying that he's taking the Fifth Amendment are not responding in terms of the costs associated with this particular car and even cost of maintenance. I have another guy who is also buoyant, is also optimistic. He's saying that he will be participating, and here is his car. And probably if he doesn't mind, he's gonna join me on set so that we can get to know what are his expectations going into next weekend's championship. It's happening on Sunday 30th at the Gong Racecourse, Concour de Elegance 48th edition. Bro, good to speak to you. I'm taking part.
Definitely.
Your car is ready?
Not yet.
It will be ready then?
It will be ready by then.
What can you tell us about Concour?
Ideally, it's a fantastic experience, considering that this is the first time that I'm participating. Most of the times I have been the handyman, kijana wa mkono, so to speak, for Daniel Biwott. And so he's actually guided me through the ropes, and actually he has been a great influence, and so I decided, why not jump into the bandwagon and see what it has in store for me.
Do you think the transitioning will be a little bit hectic or difficult for you?
It's quite hectic and tough, considering that it involves blood, sweat and tears and a lot of money. And that is something we are willing to compromise.
So you're very optimistic your car will be in good shape come next weekend?
Definitely.
And in terms of participation,
yes,
what do you make of the growth of the sport in the country? It has attracted significant, interest from local fans.
Yes.
And I know Sunday at the Gong Racecourse, it will be a place to be in terms of even spectators. What can you tell them?
Well, it will be a family fun day. Ideally, for you to actually establish that you have that love for vintage cars, it's a progress, it's a process as well. So for all those people who are interested in the same, I would actually invite them and convince them that they should come to this year's Concours d'Elegance and see what is in store for them.
It might not be the same thing like Concours d'Elegance, but when you're talking about motorsport and
yes,
the World Rally Championship now
yes,
coming into Kenya, they almost resemble.
Yeah.
But how old were you when it last happened in the country? 2002. And probably what are you looking forward to now that your stakeholders of the sport are seeking to bring it back to the country?
Well, the last time it happened, that is 2002, I was quite a young boy.
Not disclosing age.
Not disclose age. But I was quite a young boy. However, going through how rally has been happening, I'd like to vouch for spectator discipline. That is one thing that has really put us behind, spectator discipline. But if we have that certain aspect in check, I'm sure we can be able to handle the rally championship.
I think one of the reasons that made the international body FIA to strip Kenya from WRC calendar is the safety mechanism, but topographical nature of the country. It looks amazing, it looks nice, and a lot of drivers have always been passionate about coming to Kenya and do racing from here, going by what happened during Africa Rally Championship in Naivasha. Do you think it's all systems go for the country to host the tourney?
We are ready as soon as tomorrow. We are ready. All that matters is that we are given the opportunity to host it, and we will do it.
Sure.
Yes.
All of them are reading from the same script, both Biwott and his student who is saying that he's learned much from him and take part in the Sunday Championship and Gong Racecourse, that is Concours d'Elegance. Even my cameraman George is telling me that he's gonna make it there. Of course, it also matters fashion, where people are coming to showcase what they are capable of doing in various aspects, networking as well. So for my friends outside there who are passionate about fashion, they call themselves fashionistas, you can come and showcase your fashion capability and potential, despite cheering the participants, the drivers. Of course, I will be hoping that you don't flop.
Flopping is not an option. It's not an option.
But for the previous events that you've taken in, you've participated, how has been the performance getting into this one?
Very good. I'll actually tell you, we've been improving each year. From the very first time we started to last year, I'll tell you that it's been... we've been gaining better marks each year as we go along. This year is not an exception. We'll definitely perform very well.
For you, I don't mind if you flop, because you are a rookie.
He cannot. As my students do not fail.
So Robert, you can hear your people saying that they won't fail. They will be representing the country very well, and they're looking forward to a blistering show as far as Concours d'Elegance 48th edition, which is happening next Sunday at the Gong Racecourse. Of course, reporting for Y254. My name is Maxwell Wasike. You can pick it from there.